Hello, everyone. It's your pal Spaceman Sports here. Let's get started with this stream. We're just waiting for people to join in, and I'll get started with this 2024 NHL playoffs. Oh, how's it going, Rish? Welcome on in. We're just waiting for people to join in so I can start this 2024 NHL playoff predictions. I'll be right back. Hang on. All right, I'm back. Just had to close the door. And as we get started, we're going to start off with the Western Conference over here. Over here, we have Dallas facing off against the Vegas Golden Knights. But Dallas at this point has been a little tremendous, but I got to check their records. Dallas's record in the regular season, they've had 52 wins and 21 losses and 9 overtime losses. And for Vegas, since they took down the Florida Panthers in the 2023 Stanley Cup, they have 45 wins and 29 losses and 8 overtime losses. So I got to say, now with Mark Stone back, I'll say Vegas in 6 for this one. So Vegas will beat Dallas in 6 games. Up next, we have the Winnipeg Jets versus the Colorado Avs, or should I say the Colorado Avalanche. Let's check their records for the regular season. They've been a struggling franchise in the past, but I'm so shocked and glad that they've been rebuilt. So, for example, the Jets have 52 wins and 24 losses and 6 overtime losses. So that's good for that. And for the Colorado Avalanche, they have 50 wins and 25 losses and 7 overtime losses. So, oops. Sorry about that. So I'm going to have to go for Colorado in 5 for this. And over here we have Vancouver and Nashville. I got a C for Vancouver. Oops. Vancouver's record in the regular season. They've been really tremendous. They have 50 wins and 23 losses and 9 overtime losses. But shockingly, they've been really good, especially when they swept Florida. And Nashville, let's see. They have 47 wins and 30 losses and 5 overtime losses. So they're in the first wild card spot. Same for Vegas in the second wild card spot. So I'm going to have to say Canucks. Let me see. Surprisingly, they swept Nashville, so I'm going to have to say Canucks in 5 for this because they've been really tremendous. I'm not going to lie. And up next, we have the Edmonton Oilers versus the Los Angeles Kings. Let's see. Edmonton has been really hot this season, though. So Edmonton has 49 wins and 27 losses. And let's take a look at the Kings. The Kings, they have 44 wins and 27 losses. So I'm going to have to say this, but Oilers in 6 for this one. So for the West, I guess that's all for the West. Now let's move on to the East. All right, for round 1 for the East, let's start off over here. The Florida Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is the one that I've been having tough aspirations for. But Florida scored 9-2. I gotta say, Florida has been tough on Tampa like last couple months ago. But they've been really tremendous. It was on February 17th where they scored 9 goals. And Tampa only scored 2 goals. And on December 27th of last year, the Panthers won 3-2. But they've been really hot against them. But now with Anthony Duclair on the team and Vasilevsky, the goalie, I don't know if Florida would be able to beat them. That's what worries me, considering the fact I'm a Panthers fan. But I don't know what to say, but I kind of hate to say this. But I'm going to have to say Bolton 7. Sorry, guys. Bolton 7. Because it could be an upset. We're not sure, but we'll have to find out. And over here, we all know the answer for this. Boston versus Toronto. Boston has swept Toronto this season, but they've been really consistently good. I have no doubts about them. I can't doubt this team, really, for sure. I know I may not like this team, but they're consistently really good. They even swept my team. But for Toronto, this is their nightmare. They wouldn't want to play this team at all. They're afraid. They haven't beaten this team since the 50s in the playoffs. But I kind of hate to say this, but Bruins in 5 for this one. All right, next we have the New York Rangers versus the Washington Capitals. The Rangers, they are the President's Trophy winners, but the Capitals are in the second wild card spot, and the Bolts, they're in the first wild card spot. So for the Rangers, we cannot doubt them, but I'm not sure if they have a shot against Washington, but they're going to have to try the best they could because they have the President's Trophy. Anything can happen in the series. So we're not sure what's going to happen, but I have the same aspirations for the Bolts and Panthers round 1 match. But I'm mixed on this one as of right now. But right now I say Bolton 7 for this one. But the Rangers against Washington, I got to say the Rangers would take this in 5 in order to move on to the round 2 match. Up over here, we have the Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Islanders. Carolina has been consistently tough, but they're second in the division. But for the Islanders, they're third in the division. But Carolina, their defense has been really tough. You can't doubt this team. We cannot doubt them. But I got to say this. As long as the Islanders can do their best in their defense, I got to say Carolina in 6 for this one. But they've been consistently really good. But we all know anything can happen in the playoffs. You can't underestimate a team, guys. We got to learn how to respect other teams and how they play. Anything can happen. I'm going to go ahead and share the link. We all know the Rangers are going to win against Washington, like I said. They've been really tough. They have heart. But what they don't realize is that they have the quote-unquote President's Trophy curse. But I just want to say I appreciate these 30 subscribers, guys. And for those of you who are a little upset at my takes, it's okay to be upset. We all respect our thoughts and predictions, but anything can happen. But we're not sure if this is true about what I said. As long as these players are healthy, as long as they're strong, as long as they have power, they'll be able to do this. We all love our teams. We all respect our teams. We all have friends who have different teams as opponents. But I gotta say, respect others. Treat each other nicely. Always wish them GGs after a team loses. And always wish them good luck. And always wish them to have a great heart. And be kind. So, anyways, guys, I also want to say I appreciate these 30 subs. We all have many streamers out there. Be sure you guys check out Thomas Fitzpatrick's stream. I'm going to go ahead and share the link. All right. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the live chat. Well, we'll see about that, though. Anything can happen, you know? Anything can happen. These predictions may not be true, but anything can happen. An upset, first round sweep, or any type of round sweep. We all have our predictions and thoughts. Also, thank you guys for all the support you've given me. It's my first time starting a YouTube channel since my original one. I used to start one from filming outside, but nowadays I film indoors, so it's okay to have different predictions. If you have Florida winning, if you have Toronto winning, if you have New York winning, or Carolina, we all have our predictions. But let's rank all their power plays. Let's see. Florida has 92 points. In defense. And Sam Reinhart has 57 G. Kachuk has 62A, and Forsling has plus 56. Florida's power play has been ranked in 8th, and their PK has been ranked in 6th. Let's take a look at Tampa Bay's power play. But their power play is really strong, though. Hang on, guys. So for Braden Point, it's 46. Kucherov is 100%. But Kucherov is the top player in the NHL as of right now, one of the top players. And Hedman is plus 18. But their power play. But if Florida wants to defeat the Lightning in round 1, they cannot take as much penalties. Because as long as they toughen up their defense in order to beat them, they got to do the best they could. Especially killing off those strong power plays, especially with Bobrovsky on net hot. Because Vasilevsky is a really tough goalie, too. In order for Florida to take down Tampa, they got to do the best they could. So let's move on to this round 1 matchup. Boston and Toronto. But Boston has been one of those great top teams, but they were close to winning the division. They're still a tough team to beat. But obviously, with Swayman and Olmark as their tough goalies, and how tough they are, they got to be strong for round one. But if they want to move on to round two, they got to do the best they could. They swept the Panthers in the regular season, but in order for them to face the Panthers in round two, Panthers or the Lightning, but we're not sure. Like I said, anything can happen. If Tampa's going to go to round two, if Florida's going to go to round two, they're going to look really different. Because teams look different in the playoffs than in the regular season. So we all cannot underestimate the teams even before the match begins. We just got to do the best they could. I'm sorry, they just got to do the best they could in order for them to accomplish their trip to the Eastern Conference. And let's go over here for the Rangers and the Capitals. We all know they have the President's Trophy. But they got to still be their best team they could. Like, for example, if they're going to beat Washington, they got to come in really strong in order to go to round two. And possibly they wouldn't want to face Carolina because Carolina has tough defense. But for the Islanders, I'm not sure about the Islanders, but their plays are a little mid. They've been, like, a little, not sure, but I gotta say their play is all right. But in order for the Islanders to beat Carolina, they got to do the best they could. Because Carolina is a really tough team too. If we were to see a Battle of New York in round two, y'all have to get past these two teams first. Let's move on to the Western Conference. For Dallas and the Vegas Golden Knights. All right, so for Dallas, they don't know that Vegas has their top players back. One of the top players are back on the team. Mark Stone is back on the team. And I'm pretty sure lots of fans were not happy about it. But Vegas is going to be a tough team in the playoffs, too. Can't underestimate them. But they're still tough. But Dallas, for example, this team is also good. In order for Dallas to beat Vegas, they need to play the best defense they could. Because Vegas does have a top goalie, Adin Hill. who's now back on net. In order for them to beat Vegas, they gotta play as much as they could. Try to win it in like 6 rounds or 7 rounds. But if they won this, it would still be a 7-game series. But if Vegas wins this, it'll probably be a 5-game or 6-game series. But anything can happen here. But same for here, though, too. As for the Colorado Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets, we're not sure what's going to happen here. But the Avs have been consistent, too. But all right, I'm back. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Back to this. The Avs have been tough, but the last time the Avs played the Jets beat them in a 7-point shutout. They scored 7, and they shut out the Avs. But if Winnipeg is going to beat Colorado, they got to do the best they could. Score as many goals as they can. Weaken up their defense. Make it past rounds. They should make it past rounds in possibly like 6 games, 7 games, 4 games, possibly a sweep of any Western Conference team. But I'm telling you, anything can happen here. And let's talk about the Avs now. The Avs, in order to get past this defense, they gotta frustrate them. They gotta get tough on defense. They gotta block as many shots as they can. But Colorado has been really impressive this season. But we all know that they're possibly going to win this match. So it's a possibility they might win this. So let's move on over here. So Vancouver versus Nashville. Vancouver is first in the division, so they won the Western. I think they're possibly they were possibly in. I'm not sure. Wait, is it like? What's the Western Conference called? Or the Western Division? Oh, Pacific Division. Oh, that's right. I was wrong. Pacific Division. So the Canucks won the Pacific Division, And they're going to be really ready for the playoffs to start, especially with their tough defense, their tough goaltending. In order for them to beat Nashville, that's what they got to do. If they're going to beat Nashville, this goaltending still needs to be alive. Especially with Demko in net. But Demko has been really good, especially with him guarding shots. Great goaltending, great defense that they have. That's what they need to do. For Nashville, they got to do something about their tough defense. They got to block as many shots as they can. But I'm not sure if they have the power in order to stop the Canucks defense, because Canucks has been really good. They won the division. They still need to be healthy, though, because the main goal for these teams is that they got to be healthy in order to compete in the playoffs. But for Roman Josie, Forsberg, whatever you like to call him, as long as they're healthy, they can probably defeat them in a 7-game series. So I got to say Vancouver probably wins this in 5, and Nashville possibly wins this in a 7-game series. Or an upset, or whatever you like to call it. Up next, this is our last one for Edmonton and LA. Hang on, guys. I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry, I got a little distracted. All right, for Edmonton and LA, let's talk about Edmonton. Edmonton. Edmonton does have good players, though. For example, Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid is like one of the top players for this team. He's made this team really tough. They've had a slow start in the beginning of the season. They're possibly gonna they're possibly gonna win this in like a 5-game series or a 6-game series. I'm not sure. But for LA, their defense has been slowly lacking. So I'm not sure if they're going to be healthy in round one, especially with their goaltending and how like good and soft they've been. I gotta say, if LA's gonna beat Edmonton, they gotta toughen themselves up though. Like their goalie, I'm not sure who's the goalie for the Kings. Let me check. Talbot. Oh, Talbot. That's right, Talbot. If Talbot's gonna like be healthy, as long as he doesn't give up as many shots, he has this game. So for this series, for these two teams, they got to play as tough as they can. They got this. Two of these teams got this. All right. Anyways, guys, I guess that's all for the NHL prediction streams, NHL playoff predictions, or what I like to call them. Sorry, I was a little too slow speaking here. It's just that I'm a little too thirsty right now. But if y'all have a team that you really want to win, if you guys have any of your predictions in mind, you're always welcome to talk them in the comments. It's okay to be upset. It's okay if you disagree with me. But we all have our thoughts. It's okay if you don't like my predictions. We all have our different predictions, though. If you're mad, if you're disappointed, it doesn't matter. If y'all have different teams you support, it's best not to fight with someone who's an opposing fan. Just remember, if a game ends, it's best to wish GG's. Always show respect to the teams you fought against. Always trust them. And always have a good heart. So, anyways, that's all for the stream. Hope you all have a wonderful night. And peace.